welcome back to my channel, Jamie Fran Colors, and we're doing a mini series on how I color skin and portraits, and it's being a lot of fun and I'm really enjoying doing it. So today we're going to be doing a picture in this book by Momo Girl. I'll have it linked in the description box down below. And it has been a day. I have been stressed. My kids are driving me nuts. I need to just sit down and play and relax and just breathe, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to do kind of a quick and dirty kind of method of doing skin, which I really love. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need a water-based marker. And I have a few different markers here that I'll show you. The first is the most expensive. These are called the Zig Clean Color Real Brush Markers. And they are fabulous for little spaces. But they are a beautiful marker. They have a brush tip. They're easy to use. They have beautiful colors, beautiful pigment, and they are pricey. I don't know off the top of my head what price they are, but they're beautiful. I love them. I have a whole box of them. So I do love them. They are wonderful markers. My cheaper dupes for those markers are the Arteza brush markers, and they look like this, and the brush on them looks very similar. It's got a longer nib. Can we see that? Can we focus? Can we focus, people? Focus. So it has a longer nib on it than the Cool Color. You can see that. But it's still a brush pen, and they are great as well. I love them. I use them all the time. Again, they are best for smaller areas, but they're beautiful. I love using them for a base coat on things. Now, the ones we're going to use today, because I like them for a bigger area, which we're doing a face, so that's a bit of a bigger area. So let me push those out of the way. We're going to use the what is this? This is a stencil. We're going to use the dual brush pens by Tombow, and I believe these come in like 106 colors or something now. When I bought them, it was like 92 colors, so I'm missing a few, but this is just a small pack. They do come in the full pack, or you could buy them in sets if you don't want to take out all the money for a full set. So these Tombow markers are a beautiful water-based marker, and they have a flexible tip, but it's not individual fibers like the Arteza and the Zig, but they're still a beautiful pen, and they're great for bigger spaces. So let's get the page we wanted to color. There it is. Alright, so we have our beautiful elf here. She's gorgeous. And we're going to put down this 910, number 910. Oh, these also are dual ends, so they have a smaller point bullet nib at the other end. But this is beautiful marker here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and lay this color down for her skin. This is 910. It's a nice peachy color. It's great. Let's see here. So water-based markers are less likely to bleed through your paper than alcohol markers. And sometimes they're water soluble and you can move them with water. I don't feel like the Tombos do enough to make that worthwhile, but you can. We're not doing that today, but it lays down a quick coat of color on our picture. Now, water-based markers do tend to be a little more streaky than your alcohol markers. They're not as blendable, so they don't do all the same tricks you can do with alcohol markers to get them to be a perfectly smooth lay down. But that's okay, because we're going to work with that. I love to use water-based markers as my first layer, but I never used to do skin because it was too streaky. And then I learned a trick. So let's get this on there and then we'll do our trick. The part of this that's quick and dirty, because I need to get my hands dirty tonight. I need to feel like I'm working, accomplishing something. I need to feel the art. Okay, that's all of her skin. Beautiful. It did give a little buckle to the page, not bad, but it didn't bleed through at all. So, good things here. Okay, so we're done with the markers. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. So excited. Love doing this. Okay, in my little magic box here, whoops, probably had my address on that. I'll have to make sure I take that off. Okay. So in my magic box here are pigment sticks. I don't know how else you would describe them. They're different brands. So we have like the Ranger Distress crayons, and they're pretty much exactly the same thing as the Faber-Castell gelatos. They're just in a different shape. And then I also have the Jane Davenport ones, which I love for using with skin because they come in skin tones. So I will put some links down in the description box down below of where you can find some of these supplies. Oh, I also have, these ones are the art crayons. Who is this by? Do I remember? Marabou. They're exactly the same thing. So you have all these different kinds, and it's just whatever you have available, whatever. I put them all in the same box and use them in all the same things. So what I want to do is I want to use them to finish my skin tone. So I kind of want to do kind of a fun skin tone with maybe some more pinks than I usually would. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've got this pink Jane Davenport. There's kind of this maroony distress crayon in mahogany. We also have this more pinky one. And then maybe I will finish it up with the peach. I love the peach gelato, and I tend to use it a lot. But I think maybe that will help blend into the marker. So let's try some of that. I'm going to start with the Ranger Distress Crayon in Mahogany. And you'll see I'm mixing all of these together. I'm not sticking with one brand. I don't need to. And this is kind of quick and dirty. I'm just putting pigment down. It's sloppy and messy, and it doesn't matter. Okay, on the outside there, put some on her thumb. Okay, so I'm just putting where the darks would be. You know, where are our darkest shadows going to be? And that is where I'm putting this mahogany. Okay, all right. Then I'm going to grab this Jane Davenport. It's called Pucker Up. Okay, and I'm going to put that down. This is much more red. Not as dark. Be good. So I'm putting that right over the top of the mahogany. Just keep adding some more color. Said it looks really messy and sloppy. Doesn't matter. Just put a little color on there. Bring this down her face a bit. Not too worried about that. Those hair, I'll put them in later with something else. It's just too much work to keep them out of the way, so I'm just not worrying about it. Okay, there. Okay, oh, her ear. Don't forget her ear. Okay, then I'm going to grab, this is called French Kiss. It is more pinky. We're going to put some of that in as well. We're doing the same thing we do with pencils, right? We put down a base coat, then we put in a darker one, and then start working our way to the lightest so that we have colors that can blend. We're doing the same thing. We're just using gelatos and pigment sticks instead. Okay, so now we're on to the gelato, the peach. Putting that down in there too. Want some good product down there. I want it to okay. So now we have all this pigment down. We're going to blend. Now we can grab like a paper stump or whatever, but I like using my fingers for this. One, I just feel like I'm doing it. Part of me, you know, like I get to get my fingers dirty. It feels good to press that pigment around. Also, the heat from your finger and the friction helps melt the pigment sticks a little bit, and they are easier to blend. So I feel like they're a lot easier to blend with my finger than they are to blend with a pigment or a blender or something. If your finger gets dirty, find a different finger or wipe the finger off. I'm going outside the lines a little bit. It's okay. Okay, okay. Wipe my fingers off a little bit as I go into the lighter area of her face. Okay. Okay, and then her hands, they might be difficult to do with your fingers, so you might want to grab just like a paper stump or whatever, just because they are so small, but I'm just not really worried about going outside the lines, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Okay, I want to take some more of that peach gelato and get a little more of that in here where I think the highlight of her face should be. Oh my gosh, I love it. So nice. Okay, if you want any higher highlights, you can go into a white or a cream. This is called coconut. I put a little more on there. And she just becomes this beautiful, beautiful thing. I just love it. I think it's so much fun to just get my hands in there and get a little bit messy and a little bit crazy. And it might not be your ideal every time trying to do a masterpiece kind of coloring. It's more quick and dirty coloring where you just get to play a little bit more, and I just really enjoy that some nights. Now you have a couple of options with where you go from here. One is you can go and spray this with Final Fixative, and then I'm using mahogany to darken up some things. You can go and spray a Final Fixative over this, and then that gives you a tooth back, and you can use pencils right over the top. This doesn't erase, so if you've blended it out there, it's gonna be there. But you can use, if you spray it, you can use a darker color marker to go over it, or pencils, or pick a color that goes with what's kind of out there, or just embrace it and enjoy it. Another option is, and we'll do this on probably the last video in this series, another is that you can go over this with Mod Podge and then use like Pip pen markers to help darken or finish anything up. So those are a couple options that you can go from here, but right now I just wanted to look at how pretty this is. I think she's gorgeous. You've got that shading, you have it, it's beautiful. I might spray it so that I can put some more lines in there. Maybe I should do that just so you guys can see what it does. Or let's see, put these right over the top. Let me grab this. This is a Posca paint pen. Look at that, it goes right over the top of those. So you can put in those like eyelashes again. So pretty. All right, you guys, I love this. I'm gonna leave this here with you today. I know it's a little messy, but it's so much fun to just get your hands dirty and use some other supplies. And we will revisit this a little bit later on in our series because I'm gonna layer a whole bunch of different stuff. But I just wanted you to have a taste of this. Plus, I just felt like doing it tonight because it's been a stressful day and this makes me feel good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That helps me out so much. And if you have something you would like to learn how to color or learn how to do, or you have any questions on anything I'm doing, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I do read them, so I will respond to them. I'm just looking for something to put on those lips, and I don't know. This is the Tombow marker. I wonder if it would. Nah, it's not gonna. I'd have to spray it. It's too oily. It won't lay down. So yes, I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, that you find time to relax, enjoy yourself. Heaven knows I will be looking for opportunities to relax, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.